Well, I'm dazed and confused. Does it stay as it go? Am I being used? I'd just like to know.
Give me a clue as to where I am at. Feel like a mouse and you act like a cat.
Welcome to Rock Buzz. Got some Zeppelin news for you. Jimmy Page is being sued. Again. For Dazed and Confused. This time over its use in the Becoming Led Zeppelin documentary. Jake Holmes, the songwriter behind the original 1967 track of the same name, has filed a new State of California lawsuit against Page and Sony Pictures, accusing them of falsely crediting the song, misrepresenting ownership, and using early Yardbirds-era live recordings of the composition without permission or payment. Holmes first released the song on his debut album, The Above Ground Sound of Jake Holmes, and performed it live in August of 1967 when he opened for, you guessed it, the Yardbirds. That night, he says, the haunting and descending riff fell into the loving arms and hands of Jimmy Page.
They liked it, and they went out and they bought the album, and they came back and they learned it, and they played my version.
The
Yardbirds quickly adopted it, reworking it into their live sets. A year later, it resurfaced as Dazed and Confused on Zeppelin's debut album, credited only to Page. Yikes. Holmes claims he didn't even realize the song had been repurposed until Zeppelin returned to New York a year later. When he wrote to Page requesting a correction, he got no response. The 2010 lawsuit resulted in the Zeppelin version eventually adding the tag inspired by Jake Holmes, but that credit never applied to Yardbirds recordings, and Holmes says Becoming Led Zeppelin continued the pattern of erasing his authorship. His new complaint alleges that Page and Sony willfully infringed on his composition by licensing it under Page's name and collecting fees Holmes says should have gone to him. Each alleged infringement could carry a penalty of up to $150,000. Even Yardbirds drummer Jim McCarty has acknowledged that they lifted the song. In a 2023 interview, he recalled seeing Holmes play it live, being struck by the minor key descent, and immediately buying the record the next day to work out a version for their own use. Long before it landed in a courtroom, Dazed and Confused was already cemented in rock and pop culture. From Page's iconic violin bow solo, which first took flight in Yardbird sets, to parodies like Conan O'Brien's hilarious take on The Song Remains the Same from the early 90s, where Andy Richter delivered an epic bow solo of his own. The theatrics of the song became almost as famous as the music itself. Even the title lives on in the 1993 Richard Linklater cult film Dazed and Confused, a stoner coming-of-age classic that had nothing to do with Zeppelin, but still borrowed from its mystique and carried the mood of the times.
Listen, you ought to ditch the gigs you're in the car with now and get in with us, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later. You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
Hopefully the legal stuff gets worked out fairly. Jake Holmes deserves proper credit. But there is no denying that Jimmy Page took the track and turned it into something colossal, reshaping it into a showpiece that became synonymous with Zeppelin's identity. From an underground folk tune to an epic concert centerpiece, Dazed and Confused belongs to one of the most fascinating, tangled journeys in rock history. We will keep you updated. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. We thank you for watching Rock Buzz.